Hey, what's up, AK Gang? So today we're going to be telling you guys how we got through military training together as a couple.
Alright, so we joined in 2015 and we've been in for about 4 years now, and we only have 2 years left.
2 more to go and we're done.
Anyway.
Can't wait.
So we decided to join for college, of course.
Pay for that schooling because we're broke.
So we just decided to go talk to a recruiter. We went together. And he was pretty cool. You know, we didn't know anything about the military starting out.
Not a thing.
So we were lost. So we went to go talk to him, and he was telling us, you know, all the great things about the military, because, you know, they leave out all the bad.
They tell us all the good. All the good, none of the bad.
But nonetheless, we went, and the day came where we had to go to MEPS. So we go through MEPS, we get through all the testing and stuff that they made us do, you know, the duck walk. Anyway, so we get through that, and the first time we had some issues that we had to take care of, so we decided not to sign, and we went home, regrouped, and then eventually was able to go back to MEPS.
Yep.
So we went through MEPS again.
Had to do all the testing over again. So irritating.
That's okay, because that time we signed, and they allowed us to sign our contracts together.
And it was a must, because we told them that if we don't actually get to sign together, then none of us are signing. So
period.
And we kept it at that. So we actually signed our contracts the same day together. Ended up picking a job that we had known nothing about at all. It just sounded cool at the time, but ended up being not cool at all. But yeah, so about 2 weeks later, after signing our contract, they shipped us out to basic training.
Well, first we had to go to reception, which is the week before basic training.
Oh, yeah.
You get issued all your gear, and they kind of mess with you a little bit.
That was horrible.
So, and you know, we lost. Yeah. Everybody standing at attention, and we like, what is it?
What is attention? What is this? What is all this stuff they
doing? Frontline, what?
A push-up, huh? Like,
and you know, I could only do one when we first went. So, anyway,
we were in Fort Jackson, South Carolina for our basic training and reception and all that. So, throwing that in there. At reception, it was horrible.
Yeah, we were pretty much split up, you know, barracks and stuff, but we saw each other a little bit.
Yeah.
We really didn't get to talk much, but we did have our phones. But for some reason, I was so scared to use it. Like, I thought they were going to take it, so I had it up in my locker. Like, no.
Yeah, we had a little bit of time. It's the time that you got to yourself, you used it for sleeping. Because I think that whole week at MEPS, we probably ran off of like 3 days of sleep. That whole entire week. It was just like, maybe not even 3 days. It was horrible. But anyway, you know, we got through that process of reception. And the very last day of reception, before they put us on the bus to go to our basic training company, they gave us what platoons we would be in once we got to our company, and that was great because
we got the same platoon.
Yeah, we got put in the same exact platoon.
And you know, that was lucky.
Super lucky. We weren't expecting that. Like, we expected to like sign our contracts and everything together, but once we got in, we were expecting to be split up right away. Nobody knew that we were together at all. We kept that under wraps and on the low at all times. We weren't risking anything. But once we found out we were in the same platoon, we was like, hey, let's get it.
Well, actually, same company, and then...
Oh, yeah, same company.
We found out we were in the same platoon when we got there.
So we was like...
Red dots and stuff.
I had a little red patch, and I looked over. She had the red patch, and I was like, hey, let's get it.
It was lit.
So, yeah.
So, basic training.
when we got there. So we on the bus there, and we pull up to where our company is at, and this drill sergeant get on the bus. What did he say? Do you remember?
He was like, y'all got 5 seconds to get off this bus. And so, everybody's in a frenzy. We trying to get off the bus, running. We carrying these bags, trying to get off this bus.
Big old duffel bag. You carrying like this, one on your front, one on your back. And it's like...
Oh, goodness.
It, like, people was tripping. You look to the side, people fall. And if you fall, it's over for you because, like, all the drill sergeants come up on you. They're like, get up. Like, scum. They was calling them all types of names and stuff. And I'm like, I hope I don't fall. And I hope you don't fall because I don't want to be that one. I don't want to be that person. So, after we got off the bus and everything, they told us to line up in, like, our squads or whatever we were in at the time. So we were just standing there for a while at attention, and like they were just telling us to do all these commands. They were like, what were they telling us to do? Like,
I don't even know, but at some point they made us run and get like a whole bunch of bags off a truck.
Oh my gosh.
And so they making you run, and they were timing you. Whenever the timer ran out, you had to do some type of exercise. So we were doing that until we got all the bags. Mm-hmm. Like, they're like, you got 1 minute to get all these bags off this truck.
And it's like,
and we're like
200, 300 bags on the truck.
So we running, and then the horn would go off, and everybody drop down. I'm like, oh, I can't do this.
I swear that little minute, 2 minutes it felt like 2 seconds. Because it was like, as soon as you started running, the horn went off. You like, no, like you cheating real hard. But anyway, after we did all that, like they were having us doing a whole bunch of stuff, and at that point, after we got all our bags, they put us in our barracks that we were in. That's like our living quarters where we sleep and stuff like that. We all went into the female bays, and they made us line up by a bed with our bags in front of us. And at a point, they actually made us like hold our bags over our head for like 5-10 minutes, and everybody arms shaking.
Ooh, I was up there
people crying, like people across from us crying.
When he gonna let us?
We like, come on, dude! Like you ain't even gotta do this.
Exactly. And finally, it's like, all right, put the bags down.
We had to dump everything out of our bags just to put everything back in it. I was like.
Just doing extra stuff. It don't change.
It don't change at all. Like, that was...
But anyway, so obviously you start in, like, red phase. Mm-hmm. And, oh, gosh.
That's, like, the bottom of the bottom. You don't know nothing. You ain't got no rights to do nothing. So it was just, like, day 0, red phase.
Yeah. It was pretty hard just because we couldn't really, like, talk. And we couldn't really, like have that conversation with each other. Couldn't make eye contact for too long because they'd be watching. So we were really strict on like any affection that we showed towards one another, just to be safe. Because we're really good at like
not showing PDA.
Yeah, like looking like we're just friends, which is why it was so easy for us to make it through. So. Basic training, they're teaching you how to shoot a weapon. All
the basic commands,
yeah.
Parade, rest, stand at attention, stuff like that. They're teaching you like the ranks and everything on the ranking system in the Army. A whole lot of other stuff that's like unnecessary that you will never use once you actually get into the Army. So that's that.
Well, we could pretty much see that some of the trainings and stuff and the things that were going on were kind of getting to us. So we kind of started to try to find ways that we could be in contact with each other without being in contact with each other.
Indirectly.
So, yes, basically. So we would write letters and like sneak them to each other, and make sure nobody saw. We came up with a hand signal. I think it was like this, something like that. So whenever we would pass each other, we'd just be like that really quick. Nobody really noticed, of course. So
just to show that we were good or whatever, if anything was wrong with us, that we'll try to hit each other up later.
Oh my gosh! So yeah, the letters and just coming up with hand signals, that really helped. And then once it started to get more lax in basic training, we could like talk a little more and just be cool, because it wasn't so like everybody up in your corner.
No.
So
like I don't remember eating like one time together.
I can't remember those details, but I know if we could be together, we were together.
Just to make sure that we was good. That was it.
Yes. So nobody expected a thing.
Not a thing.
In basic training, they didn't. So at the end, the drill sergeant gave us an amnesty period where we could tell him anything we wanted. And there would be no like penalties or anything. So this fool was up for promotion, and he was just like, "Well, you're like, can we tell you anything, drill sergeant?"
Yeah, I was like, so he was like, so I guess like she said, like he told us that we had an amnesty period. So I was like, "Yo, drill sergeant, like anything, like tell you anything." He was like, "Yeah, anything," and I was like, "You sure?" He was like, "Matter of fact, you up for promotion. I don't want you to get in trouble for anything, so no, don't tell me." So I was like, alright, cool, whatever. So like a little bit of time goes by, like an hour or so, and we're back in the barracks. We're getting all our personal items back, get our phones back, and everything like that. And out of nowhere, all you hear is, "Lester, get in here." That's my last name, if y'all didn't know. I was like, "Come in, drill sergeant." So I move, I'm running, I get in there, I go to parade rest. I'm like, "Yes, drill sergeant." He was like, "So what is that you want to tell me?" And I was like, "Oh, you want to know now?" He was like, "Yeah." And I was just like, "Well, this whole like 8-9 weeks you've been telling us that attention to detail is key." And he was like, "Yeah, so?" I was like, "Well, I don't think you really been paying attention to detail, really." He was like, looked at me, he was like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "Well, if you haven't noticed," I was like, "Me and Harvey, we've been together for a while, and I don't think you actually figured it out." And he was like, "What?" He was like, "Hold that thought." He was like, "Harvey, get in here."
So, I ran my goofy self up in there.
So, what's going on.
Right, I'm in there like, and then I see him at
the friendly in the push-up position.
So I'm like, I instantly just go in there and get down. Like what he told him, I was like, "Why did you tell him?" But he was just like, "Show me a picture of you two." And so I showed him, and he was like, "What?" So this man ran all the way downstairs.
I got our captain, the commander of the company.
Showed him.
And he told us straight up. He was like,
the captain was like, "Sneaky little bastard," or something like that. And I was like, "Okay."
Like they was all cool about it because like we was just about to graduate. It was like the last day or right before the last day we were leaving to go out to AIT. But he told us straight up, he was like, "If I would have found this out earlier in the training, I would have split you guys up ASAP." And I was like,
"I'm so glad you didn't find out."
I know, but we got through basic training. It actually wasn't as hard as people would think it was.
Except the fact that there was a hurricane and we didn't have any running water, no toilets.
We couldn't shower for a week. We couldn't use regular toilets for a week.
MREs all week.
MREs for a week straight.
And I think they started to run out, didn't they?
Yep, they started to run out of MREs. So we actually started to like just save little by little.
No graduation. Nope. No. Well, we did have family day, but my family didn't come, so.
Mine either.
Basic training is over.
Yep. So we get to AIT. AIT was a little bit more lax than basic because, you kind of know the structure of the Army and how it works now, so they give you just a little bit more freedom, but
you still had to get used to the new place.
Yes.
Like, it was an adjustment.
Yep.
And it felt like you were starting from day one all over again.
Yep. So we went to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Fort Lost in the Woods.
Fort Lost in the Woods.
Other people call it because it's nothing but woods out there, honestly. And, the first couple of days we got there, they gave us like an 8-hour pass or something like that. Mm-hmm. And so we got there and they gave us like basically 8 hours for us to do whatever we wanted.
So we can go off post.
Yeah. So coming off of 8 weeks of being restricted to even, breathe your own air when you wanted to, they was like, y'all could do whatever you want for 8 hours. And we was like,
only because of the hurricane.
Yeah, they found out that we didn't get a family day or graduation, nothing like that. So they told everybody that came from Fort Jackson that you get an 8-hour pass. And you know, first thing we did was we got some food. Because we was eating that military food, and
it's not that bad.
It's not horrible. It's just we wanted. I think what we get some Taco John's.
I don't know
something.
I can't remember back that far. But anyway, so AIT. Now we had to finagle ourselves into the same platoon because they pretty much did the 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 type thing. So obviously he got like 1 and I got 2, and I'm like, hey, does anybody want to be a 1?
And
that's
nobody
a 2.
was going, and I was like, no, I'm about to get this too. So I go up to somebody. I was like, hey, you got anybody in the first platoon that you want to be with? And the girl was like, yeah, I actually kind of do. And I was like, here, I got a 2. I mean, you got a 2, I got a 1. Let's switch. So she was like, all right, cool, here you go. And I was like, girl, so you the real MVP. Let's get it.
We are in that same platoon again, which was nice.
It was definitely cool.
But AIT wasn't too bad.
No.
It wasn't much. It was just more relaxed, so we were able to just, you know, be normal. Like we weren't making googly eyes at each other, but we could talk. And yeah, we just had this little group, and whenever we wanted to go off post, our group would just go, you know, or to the, what is that?
To the PX.
PX, yeah.
It's like a military Walmart, basically.
Yep. So we did that. They knew our group, the people in our group knew that we were together because they went to basic training with us. And
they found out when everybody else found out. So
yep. So they knew. They were the only ones that knew. But the crazy thing is a lot of people was crushing on my boo. Yeah. Like, they thought he was really cute.
I was a snack back then.
Okay, he was looking like a little snack, a whole meal. But, you know, I had to keep my military bearings. Okay, but a lot of females in basic and AIT were like coming, they would, well, I was talking to a bunch of females, and they would come to me, like, talking in a group, and just be telling me how cute Laster was, and I'm like, you think so? Yeah, you know, because I know he cute, girl, but yeah, and these wasn't there was this one really pretty girl that thought he was cute. I was like, for real? Girl, okay. But one of my battles, she was like, so we were in the
she knows who she is.
So we were in the bays, and she, out of nowhere, like, we weren't even talking about the kid, out of nowhere, she was like, oh my gosh, I love Laster, he is so cute, I want to marry him. And I was just down there like, dang, you crushing on the kid hard. She had no clue that, you know, that was my thing. That's my shorty. But that's okay. I wasn't too worried about it, because he did look good. Especially when he got that fresh shave, he had the haircut, had a little uniform on. He was looking fly. Yeah, he would lick his lips just like that. And I was like, dang. Okay.
Oh, man.
But anywho, so AIT wasn't too bad. So if you're a couple, you can make it through.
Basic and AIT, if you guys are lucky enough to, you know, stay together the whole time. It's not that hard. It's just a mental game. If you get through all the mental games and tricks, you know, the physical stuff, you'll catch on to that easily. You know, they train you to do that well, I guess you can say. And
a lot of the stuff was pretty easy having like someone there with you that you know. So not everybody is lucky, but if you can, girl, boy, do it. Okay? Or just like find someone that you can connect with, that you guys can like just get together and make it through it, because you will have times where you are just mentally exhausted and you're just not feeling it, because I definitely had,
and you'll definitely
a couple
need
of those
somebody
days
to talk to.
Yes.
Definitely need someone to talk to that you can trust, at least. You can trust.
And if it is your significant other, make sure you are not like being obvious. Like, stay low, because they will split you up.
No hesitation. They do not care. They
No.
do not care.
So keep it on the low.
On the low.
It's not that hard. I promise you, it's better to, you know, not be able to hug and kiss and look at each other all affectionately. You know, it's better to do that instead of being split up and not knowing what's going on, where they at, or anything.
Did they get kicked out? Where are they at? Like,
Right.
what happened to them? Like, you never know. Did they get shot? Like,
and even one of our drill sergeant was like, you guys are going to make it far in your military career because you're able to, you know, keep your military bearings and, like, get your job done. So just do that, y'all. It's not hard. You don't need to be kissing all the time.
Right. Just do what you got to do, get through it, and then once you guys graduate and get back home, you know, get back to doing what you was doing.
Hug, kiss, you know.
Wait, so
did we cover everything?
I think so.
Well, if you have any questions about it,
go ahead.
If you have any questions about basic or AIT, or if we didn't give you the information that you were hoping for, just write it down in the comments and we will answer, because it's kind of hard to like get everything that's wanted in one video. Kind of just did this off the top of our heads.
Because we could actually talk about this for a lot longer than this video has been. But just to keep it short and simple for you guys, we did just that. So like she said,
stick to like the basics.
Yep. So like she said, you know, just ask whatever questions you're going to ask. We'll get back to you. Like and share this video. And if you haven't already, subscribe. And, you know, become a part of the AK gang. All right. So that's it.
All right. Bye, y'all. Deuces.